Hello everyone, welcome to AI Anytime channel. So in this new video, we are going to create an Streamlit application for text summarization. Okay. So text summarization is one of the most common natural language processing tasks. It has been very famous, and there have been a lot of active development in the community for summarization. Okay. There have been a lot of open source models and Python libraries that you can utilize to perform this summarization task. Okay, and so there are two types of summarization, basically: abstract summarization and extract summarization. Okay, extractive and abstractive. Okay, extractive summarization is like when you have like around 10 sentences, okay, of a paragraph. So what it does, if you perform extractive summarization, it kind of tries to find out 2 or 3 sentences, and based on the emphasis, how important those sentences are, and then it tries to kind of merge those, okay, concatenate those sentences or merge those sentences, and then form an extractive summarization, okay, out of those paragraph. Okay, that I feel is not that good. Okay, because we have so much of development in the last 5 or 10 years in AI and machine learning or the natural language processing, okay, field. There have been better models or better libraries that you can utilize to perform abstractive summarization, where you focus more on the abstract, where the model or libraries kind of understand the meaning of the entire paragraph or text that you have. That can be your article or blogs or multiple paragraphs. That can be any form of text, and the model or libraries that if you use, okay, it will try to understand the meaning of it, and then it will form a new sentence out of it. Okay, that's called abstractive, which is much better when it comes to performing this summarization task. So today we are going to use this library called txtai. Now you can see I am on their GitHub repository. It's an open source library which says build AI powered semantic search application. Okay, and it's very good when it comes to perform multiple natural language processing tasks. Okay, you can see, if you come down, you'll see all of their options. You can perform question answering on your text data, basically that can be a document or the raw text, and it can be any other file. Okay, you can also create QA database with text AI. You can perform embeddings with text AI. You can perform even text to speech and even speech to text. They also have wrapper around Whisper to perform those tasks. You can also do similarity search with images. You can perform semantic search in text. You can perform summarization, any other kind of natural language processing task, even classification. You'll be able to do that with this. Okay, they provided topic modeling with BM25 indexing. They have word embedding indexing as well, where is required. So if you come to their GitHub repository, which is newml/textai, you'll find out that they have very good documentation. Okay, they have notebooks as well for all their tasks that they have listed it over here. You see extractive QA, or building abstractive text summaries, and that I was talking about, that we'll look into this abstractive text summarization. So we'll also combine other libraries with txtai today. We are going to use PyPDF2, okay, to extract the text from the PDF file, and then we will pass that text to this text AI to perform the summarization, okay, the abstractive summarization. You can also see that they have image similarity, duplicate image detection, where they are finding out the vectors first, feature vectors, and they are then computing the cosine similarity, and then you can use that for finding the image similarity, duplicate image similarity. The same can be performed on the text data as well. When we have multiple articles, if you want to find out if 2 articles are similar or not in nature, you can perform with this library as well. So they have this, again, this is based on, if you talk about the QA, okay, this is again based on retriever and reader model, the pipeline that you have. So you can read about it, text AI, that they have very neat and clean documentation. They're having a lot of application that has been developed using text AI library. You can see this, there have been paper AI, which kind of semantic search and workflows for medical and scientific papers. Then you have code question, like we have snippets, code snippets. You can perform some Q&A on that code question. That we also have new SPO, real-time sport events and news sites, kind of gets the RSS feed and all, and then perform the QA on that. It works with Python 3.7. Okay, so this is what I'm going to do. So let me head back to VS Code, guys. Okay, so these are the requirement, as we are going to utilize txtai inside a Streamlit application. Okay, so we'll also need Streamlit, and then we need PyPDF too, as I was just mentioning earlier, that we'll also extract the text out of a PDF file, and then we'll perform that abstractive summarization on that. Okay, so let me do one thing. Okay, let me just create an app.py file. Okay, so here I will create an app.py, and here I will start writing code for this particular application that we are going to build. So if you see, I have this file called generativeai.pdf. Let me open this. Let me open this, and this is the file. Okay, and I want the summary of this file. Okay, this I have created this file from McKinsey article. They have an article on generative AI. You can also get it. I will share that link in the description if you want to read about it. Read about generative AI, that all the McKinsey forecast and their facts that they have curated and they compiled on their website. So I've created this file, and this is what I'm going to use, guys. Okay, so if you what you have to do, you have to install this. So how do we install? So first you have to create a virtual environment. I'll recommend that to create a virtual environment, but if you are using Anaconda or any other IDE or tool, you can also do that. Now you can directly install it. That's not a recommended practice, so you should create a virtual environment and install into it. So you can install with pip install -r and then requirements txt. Okay, this is where you can install these requirements. Okay, txtai, and I'm using txtai, and you can see a params called all, which basically will install all the dependencies and modules. I am on Ubuntu machine. Okay, and it install everything there, literally. Like you have pipelines, you have PyTorch, you have APIs, modules, extractors, summary module, everything that comes under txtai. Okay, you can also install separately. If you only want the pipeline module of txtai, you can also do that. That's pass txtai and then pipeline to get that. Okay, so install it and then head back to app.py. The first thing that we always do, import the libraries which are required. So import Streamlit as st, and what else? Let's first start with Streamlit. Okay, the first thing I will do, I'll say, hey, I'll have a sidebar. Okay, in that sidebar we'll have two options for the end user. They can pick either they have to perform this abstractive summarization on text, or they have to kind of perform on a document. Okay, they can upload a file as well. So I'm going to do st.sidebar here, st.sidebar dot select box, and in this select box you can see that the params are label and options. So in label, let's give a label, select your choice, and in options we'll have, it will be a list here now because we have a couple of choices to make there. So the first is summarize text. And the other one is summarize PDF. Because we are only going to deal with PDF, let's basically mention that there, summarize PDF. Or let's do one thing, let's call it summarize document, and we can handle that PDF with the file uploader extension in Streamlit. So choice, and in this st.sidebar.select box, select your choice, and we have a couple of options to choose. Let's run that. How do we run it? So I'll come here, I'll say Streamlit run app.py, and it will open a new tab in the browser, and you can see that we have an option called summarize text and summarize document. Okay, this is a sidebar basically. You can also change this, you can completely customize it. You have your images, logos, you want to change the color of this, put some CSS element, and then do unsafe allow HTML equal to true in Streamlit. Okay, if you're familiar with Streamlit, I hope that you know all this workaround when changing colors and make it customized, right? So, and if you're not aware, you should follow the discuss.streamlit.io. They have a very good discussion forum where you can ask all of your questions, and there are already a lot of questions that you can figure it out. Okay, so now what I will do, let's do one thing. First, let's make a choice. So I'll say if you can see, if choice equals summarize text, which is the first option, what I want to do, I want to say, hey, st.subheader I'll just say, let's keep it. I don't want to keep these two things here. So the simple st.write, this is a simple text summary, not required. I'll just use this st.subheader summarize text, and then I will also create else if choice summarize document. The same thing will go with the summarized document. Let's give some credit to txtai guys. So I'll put it txtai here, and this is the same terminologies that we are going to use for this entire video. They don't have any, I think, caps or something, or they write it in lowercase. That's why I'm also using txtai, which is a Python library to perform semantic search, okay, on your text data and build NLP application. Okay, indeed. So if choice summarize text, else if choice summarize document. Now let's do one thing. Let's head back to the browser. I will do a rerun here, and then you'll see I am currently on this, which says summarize text. When I click on summarize document, it changes to this summarize document using txtai. A good start so far. So what we can also do here, let's do one thing. So if I write here st.subheader summarize text using txtai, and what I also do, I'll say, hey, input text. My input text will be st.text area. Let's have a text area there. You can also choose text input, but text input you will not be able to see because it don't provide you multi-line view. It provides you single line view. We'll have text area here. So st.text area. In the text area, what we can do, we can say enter your text, and let's call it enter your text here. Okay, and now let's see that if it changes something on the, you can see now we have a text area which says enter your text here. Okay, but if you see, it seems like that it's not utilizing the full width of this layout. You know, the layout that you see, it might be container fluid or container. If you are familiar with web elements or web technologies, you might have heard this terminologies or words like container fluid or container. It seems like it has this container fluid where it only be in this area, right? I want to utilize the full width of it. How we can do that? So let's do one thing. We have an option where we can make those changes. So we can use that set page config, st.set page config. You see this option where you can, you know, tweak the layout. Okay, if you want to set the layout, you can also set that. So for this video, let's do one thing. Let's set the page config and call it layout equals wide. Okay, which is a string basically. So layout equals wide, and then I will get back to this. And now you see that it's now able to utilize the full width. It looks even better, right? Before the earlier one that we had. So this is now we have. Now what else we have to do? Okay, we can paste it over here. That's completely fine. And the next thing is, let's have a button here. So I'll say, hey, if st.button. Let's have a button where we can have this option to set the condition and also summarize text. And for now, I'll do a pass here. I'll not do anything for now. So if st.button summarize text. Now let's see, we'll have a button now here. When I rerun, you can see a button. And here I will enter my input text, and here I will click on summarize text. Okay, so far so good. So we have an input area, and then we have the summarize text option. So what we can do, let's start writing here. So I'll say, hey, now we can also divide these guys in columns. Now if I want to use this left hand side, half of this layout that you see, half of that I wanted to show the input text that the user will input, and the right hand side will have the summarized text, okay, that will perform, right? So now let's do one thing. Let's call column 1, column 2, divide that left layout or the entire layout that we can see on the screen in two parts. The first is st.columns, and pass this list 1 1, which means, okay, use the exactly 50% to column 1, 50% to column 2. If you are not using by default, it will also be the same. Now what we can do, we have to use this option now. So you can see it's suggesting okay, now you have two columns, the variable that we have created. If you want to use the variable 1 and you want to perform any operations inside that variable, you have to use this with column 1 st.write. So I'll not use that has been shown by tab 9, the auto code completion plugin in VS Code. I'll not use that. So with column 1, what we can do, we'll write st.markdown here, st.markdown, and we can do little documentation here, very simple. So your input text. That's it, and let's close this. So this is the markdown, and here what we can do, we can say, hey, st.info, which is the status message, how to display messages in Streamlit. You have info, you have warnings, you have error, you have success. Okay, so I'm using one of them, which is st.information or info, and here I will say, hey, your input text. That's it. Now let's do one thing. Let's head back to this, rerun, and nothing changes because we are not testing it out. Let me do one thing over here, guys. Let me open this generative AI, and let me see if I can copy this. Okay, I copied this. I'll just minimize this, also this, and let me see if I can paste it. Oh, no, I pasted it over here, and you can see that here I am able to see this input text. Now this is my input text. On this I want to perform this basically that summarization, the abstractive summarization, right? So let's see. Okay, let me minimize this, sorry. So this is for summarize text using txtai. Now what else we can do? We have this option as well, document. Let's head back to VS Code. Let's also create a file uploader where the user can upload a PDF file. So let's do that as well. How we do that, guys? So if else if input, you can see it says showing me input text. We don't have to do input text. Let's call it input file. So input file. Input file. I think we can also do one thing. Yeah, this is okay. So input file, and then st.file uploader. You see this file uploader method that we have here will have a label that called upload. Upload your file, or let's call it document. Upload your document, and then here we have a param called type that's basically nothing but to make sure that the user is uploading a PDF file. But again, they can still manipulate this, but the scope of handling that is beyond of this video. Okay, you can also look the metadata and all to see if this really PDF. Sometimes either can change the extension and upload virus also. How do you know? So for that you have to go to metadata and then perform a lot of things that to find it out. So we have input file, st.file uploader, upload your document, type PDF. Okay, this is done. And now what I can also do, so if input, if input file, okay, let's do one thing. So here we'll also have if st.button and summarize document. That's it, and I will do pass for now. Let's call it a pass, and now head back to rerun. You can see we have a file uploader. Okay, which says drag and drop file here. If I click on file uploader, upload this generative AI. That's it. So yeah, so I'm not going to do anything now for that. Okay, let's now start writing the function, guys. So we have now we have written the code where we will be able to take the data from the end user. That can be your raw text or text, and that can be your file as well. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to create here. You can see, okay, we have st.setPage config layout. Now let's do one thing. Let's create a couple of functions to handle it. So what we can do, let's import first. Let's first work with the text file, the raw text that we have, not the file. Okay, so for that I'm going to do from txtai.pipeline, that library that we have, and I'm going to import summary. So I'll say import summary module, and then I will use this summary module to perform this abstractive summarization on raw text. Okay, so this is this. So let's call it summary text here. So summary text, and in summary text I will pass text as a param, and then I will start writing the code here. The first thing is, let's call it summary equals summary. This is we are initiating the summary module here. This is basically a constructor that we are initiating. So summary equals to summary. That you see this, we have imported it over here, right? The summary method. And then now what I will do, let's have, and how do we pass the text? So we pass the text into this format, guys. So text which is inside this, we have this bracket, right? Text, and then what next? So we have this, we are getting this text from the end input, that will get it from this input text variable in the Streamlit application, and then we'll call it result, and in the result we'll use this summary variable where this method has been initiated, and in summary we'll pass this, it will not be summary.summary, it will be summary, and this is the text variable, and the last, let's return this result. Okay, this is the one thing that we have done. So we have created a function where using txtai.pipeline import summary. Okay, so we can also do one thing, because I don't want to load this every time in the runtime, the module or the model, because in backend of course it uses a model. See, when you see this kind of method, less number of code, don't think that they are not using any machine learning models or machine or deep learning models in backend. They of course use, they have given you this high level API, right, to work with this, right? But it utilizes a model there. So what I want to do, that I want to cache this. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use this cache resource decorator provided by Streamlit, and it's a very latest upgrade. I think it came in December last year, where earlier they used to provide decorator like st.cache. Now they are providing two separate decorators. By the way, one is st.cache data and the other is st.cache resource, which is very powerful when it comes to handling. When I talk about the data first, st.cache data. Now when you are working with the CSV file, which is very compute heavy, okay, it takes a lot of computational power to process CSV files, and every time you are uploading a file to train a model or run the model, you can utilize st.cache data, okay. Or if you are performing the NumPy operations or you're working with the APIs, please use st.cache data in that case. And you're working with machine or deep learning models, please use st.cache resource, that I'm doing in this case. So st.cache resource here. Now let's do one thing. We have written this function now. So what we can do, we have this option here. With column 1 we are set. Now with call 2 we are going to, you can see it's suggesting me, so it's suggesting me first result, summary text, input text, and I will be doing that, but I will just make a couple of changes. So htwrite, I will use that in success, and here I will pass that result, and here I'll also use one thing. I will say, okay, ht dot markdown, just to make a little documentation, your summary result, let's call it summarize text. Now let's test it out if you are able to get the desired response. So let me go back to summarize text. So you can see that it says running. What it does, it tries to load the model, right? We have this set of snippet that we have applied the function, right? Okay, now I can recall that why it took that time, because what else we can do here, guys? If we say, okay, here we can check it out. Okay, so here we are missing a very important thing. I will do if input text is not none. I want to check if there is a value or not. So if input text is not none, then I want all these operations to be happen. Okay, so I will just do a tab here. Okay, and if I reload, you see it reloaded faster, because now first it has to see if, let's paste it out and summarize text. So now you can see it's saying input text, and it's running your summary._text function that we have. Basically this function, summary text, that the function that we have. So you can see that we have now divided this in two parts. The first is your input text, because it is where the user should know that what they have entered, because this is not that visible, okay, that text area. And you can see this is the input text, where we have talking about generative AI, and that we have created that text from the McKinsey article. And then we have this summarized text, which says generative AI describes algorithms that can be used to create new content, including audio, code, and like recent new breakthrough in this field have, this like the summary text that we have got. Okay, this is the summarization that we have got. Now what we can do, let's do one thing. Okay, so this is done. Then now the next thing is we have to perform this on this summarized document thing. Okay, so for summarized document, what we can do, so we can use PyPDF to get the text out of it, and then we can pass that text to this basically this summary text again, because again at the end it will be a text. So how we can do that to pass that text in this function? Because first we have to use this PyPDF2. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to say from PyPDF import PDF reader. So I'm going to use this PDF reader which is in version 2.0. Now the PyPDF is coming with version 3.1 I think very soon, where all this will be depreciated. We will not be able to use it, but for now we can use that. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to okay, let me see that. So we have summary text, we're passing that summary text to it input text and std. Okay, now here in the else if class we have to perform that. So if std.button, if input file is not none. Okay, so yeah, input, if we can also do that here for the same. So we can check if input file is not none. So what we can do, we can make a tab here, and here let's do a pass for now. Let's write the function first for PyPDF2, which will be here. So I'll just make a comment, extract text from the PDF, extract text from the PDF file using PyPDF2. Okay, and here I will start writing the code. So you can see it's suggesting me something, but what I will do, we have to open that file, right? So let's first create the function. So I'll call it extract text from PDF. This is good, but I'm not going to use the entire thing, which is let's do one thing. Let's remove all this, keep this variable. Here we have this PDF file option. Let's call it file path. I'll call it file path. I will not need that. Let me show you why. So we have this file path here. Now what we can do, we'll say with open, and here we can pass that file path r as rb. Let's also have read option and as f, and then here we'll have this basically this PDF reader. So let me just do a tab here. Maybe we can do one thing. Let me remove this PDF return text. So what we are doing, we have this reader. Let's call it reader equals PDF reader, and here pass the f, which is nothing but the file. Excuse me, sorry, this is control jet. Okay, yeah, so this is done. Let me just kill this terminal. Okay, let me click on this, kill terminal. Yeah, so a return text, reader equals to PDF reader. I don't know what's really happening here. Control G again. Let me kill this terminal again. Okay, now I am here and I will do an enter. Okay, yes, reader equals PDF reader, and just passing that f. Now what we can do, we can first have to look at the page. We have the page, only have one page. To reduce that time here, so let's call it reader page, and let's only have the first page for this, because we only have one page. But you can also do, so it's reader.pages 0, and then text, yes, text page.extract text. So text and page.extract underscore text, and then here pass the page and this return text. That's it. So this is what we have. So this page will not be here because we're already using this page dot. We are applying this function on this particular page here. So this is done. Return text. Now what we can do, let's use this here. Okay, to first, if xt.button, let's first have a markdown again. Document summarizer. Or I think again we have a column 1 and column 2. So st.columns 1 this is okay with column 1. Your input file will not have your input file. We'll call it extracted text, extracted text from document, and then we'll have st.info input file. Here we will not have that input file. So what we have to do here, guys, let's call it extracted text equal, we apply this function that we have created here. So we'll call it extract. We have this extract text, so we'll call it extract text from PDF and that file path. So in this file path, let's also handle that file path. So how we can do that? So you see this input file is not known. We have this button summarize document, and we have divided into 2 columns, right? So what we can do, if before this column we let's load the file. So how we can do, so input file here you have the input file variable where we have htdoc.file upload or upload your document. Now what we can do here, we can also save this. So if with open, or let's call it with open, and we call this, let's give it a file name, so docfile.pdf, and then we pass this right option as, because we can save this file in the local directory. And then what we can do, we can use this f.write, because we are using a Streamlit, we have to get the buffer. So f.write, and in f.write what we can do, we can basically pass that input file dot get buffer. Yes, this is done. So get buffer, this is, now we'll be storing that file in the local directory, and then we'll load that file to perform the summarization on that. Okay, so this is one thing. So with open docfile.pdf, which will be the file name, and then we'll use, right? So now what we can do, we can pass this here, the same thing, that docfile.pdf. So you can see this is the docfile.pdf, and now let's do one thing. So extracted text, now what we can do, ht.info extracted text. Let's see that. I'll come back here on the document, I'll upload the document here, generative.ai.pdf. So you can see it has extracted the text from document, but we still get expected string bytes or OS not uploaded file. This is okay. We are getting this extracted text from document. This is what we want to validate, but now we are getting this type error, okay, which says expected string bytes or os.path like object not uploaded file. Okay, let's see that. So we have this with input file is not none, with open doc file as f, right, get buffer. This is okay with column. Now let's do one thing. Okay, we are doing this summarize ht.success result, extract text from PDF. Okay, this will not be this because we have shown this already here. So what we can do, extracted text from, okay, so let's call it result equals, here we'll have result equals, if we use this function, if you go on top, we'll use this summary text function. So let's first get this, result equals to summary text, and then passing this result. Okay, that we have this result over here in column 2, right, extract text from PDF, and we are passing this input file. So what we can do, we are not going to pass this input file, that's why we are getting this error, we are not taking the pass. So what we have to do, let's call it docfile.pdf, and we are getting this in result, and then summarize document result equal to summary text. We are applying that function over here, that the function that we have where we are passing the text. So now with this, we are first getting this text and we are assigning into this variable, and now we are using the same variable, maybe you can call it summary result or something, and then we have ht.success to basically print that summary result, right? Now let's run that. So you can see now we have got the summary, right? So this is for document that we have got, and we already have, so we are getting this text here, and then we are also getting this summarize document here. So this is one. Now if you click on summarize text, you can also do it. So summarize text, it kind of generates you your input text and summarize text, and here we are getting this for the document as well. You can upload your document and you can perform this abstractive summarization over here. So you can see that you are getting it. So what we did in this video, we use this txtai library, txtai.pipeline import summary, and we have created this, we have written up this function summary text where we are passing the text and we are getting it, the summary of text. And then we also have for PDF document, we are using PyPDF2 to perform this abstractive summarization. And we have written up code for Streamlit application where we have two ways of getting the input data. One is the raw text, another is the file uploader where the user will upload a file, and then we are applying those functions to perform the task, right? This is what we did in this video, guys. So you can also perform this summarization, or you can also do a lot of other NLP applications with txtai. If you come on the txtai GitHub repository, they have very good documentation. You can build enterprise grade solutions with this. Basically it's very powerful. It has a lot of integration capabilities. It works in and out with Elasticsearch or FAS, or it works with a lot of other embeddings as well. You have indexing BM25 if you want to perform topic modeling and other things. So you can look at this. I'll share that GitHub repository in your in the description. If you want to use the code that I've created a Streamlit application, you can also come to the repositories, and you can look at this text summarizer Streamlit app where you can find the summaries. This is just a boilerplate. You can of course extend this using this text AI library. Okay, feel free to do that. If you have any thought or any suggestions, please drop your comment in the comment box. Okay, that's it for today's videos, guys. Okay, thank you so much for watching the video. See you in the next video.